When we talk about viral hacking, it's because we're hacking somebody else's virality. But who made that very first one? My first video, which is painting my stomach with my kids, slapping my stomach, I was the first and only one to this day, the only one that's ever done that. I got 3 million views in 3 days. There was no precedent for a guy that people thought was a pregnant woman until I said, no, that's me. I'm making a painting video. So I do believe that there is somebody or a group of somebodies that have a button that press and says, this is kind of interesting. But I do believe that the majority of it can be algorithm based on formulas, just like anything else does.
Yeah. So I did a little bit of research on what O'Leary said. He said that the Supreme Court basically ruled out what he called forking the algorithm. Do you know what he's talking about? Or I have it here written down. Okay. So the Supreme Court ruled that TikTok's Chinese algorithm cannot be used or copied if TikTok is sold to a US buyer. This means buyers can't fork the code, which is a tech term for adapting or repurposing existing software. What that means is that TikTok's secret sauce, its algorithm that decides what you see on your feed, stays with ByteDance in China. A US buyer would have to create a new algorithm from scratch, which is complicated and expensive. And this makes the sale harder because TikTok won't work as seamlessly at first without the algorithm. But he said that Frank McCourt, which is O'Leary's business partner, has spent years and millions of dollars building a new technology stack. And this system could replace TikTok's algorithm while allowing users to control their own data and even more money from it. So, what do you think about that? So, basically, what he's saying is the Supreme Court decided. Now, Trump could get in and give him a 90-day extension, right? That's from what I understand. I don't even know. Like, right? It's confusing because I thought that last time I was watching something, they said that Biden was the only one that would be able to give that 90-day extension, but I'm sure Trump would find a way to give it if he wanted to.
Well, I can tell you from a popularity contest, if they shut it down during the Biden administration and Trump turns it on once he gets into office, he's going to win so many converted polls, whether they like it or not. But that's just me kind of like,
No, that's politics. I think you're right. I think he knows that he's going to come in and look like the hero, and maybe he is going to be the hero.
But to answer your question about the algorithm, no shade on anyone that claims they can design this. But remember, this is a really intricate process. People are fickle. And you really have to get down to the consumer taste. So whenever I hear somebody can retrofit or future fit something, there's going to be some kind of an adjustment period, right? That's why you can't simply put a Ferrari driver in a hybrid and expect it to have the same performance. I mean, there's going to be some kind of an adjustment, fixing process. The way I would actually program it is, hey, X.com, go out, revive Vine, but call it the new Vine, call it the Vineyard. So there's vines, and then you can do yards of content, storing and stories, all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I think that is the play, and that is, look, you're worth X billion, put $1 billion into rolling out battles and e-commerce shopping the way TikTok has, and slowly build from there. Who knows? But I don't think you can simply retrofit that onto X.com or Instagram the way they are. There's too many things invested in the existing structure, and you know how the mentality works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just create a sister company. Create the nightclub next door for the. If this is made for millennials and Gen Xers, create the millennial bar that they can
Hmm.
go to, and just create a separate entity. This is why VW has Porsche, why Toyota has Lexus, VW and Porsche. This is why you have it, because it caters to a different part of the aspect that knows who you are. Armani owns Armani Exchange. You know how these things work. So I would say
Hmm.
create a sister company, a tracking stock for a different generation, so you don't damage what quote unquote you don't damage your existing client base or your model that's working,
Hmm.
and create this other thing. And if I were them, go buy Favorite and add your content here and mix it in with Vine. To go do that. That might have a better chance of success, because how old is Favorite? And there's already thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people on there, and this thing is barely a few months old. So
Well, I think the thing that, even I'm sure O'Leary has thoughts on it, but he didn't want to maybe like say exactly, but he did say like he's essentially saying that this is like a leverage point that or some, either China or Trump is holding some leverage here because or maybe both, right? Because if they shut it down, that is negative for the business owner, the people in China that own this thing and the economy and because there's other, like you said, there's other countries here that are on TikTok. What O'Leary was saying is, well, they're going to turn it off. If the US is going to turn it off, then everybody else is going to turn it off. Australia still has it turned on. The other weird thing is like, why is Red Note still on? Like, what else is still on? My question is like, who's enforcing this? Who's going to get in trouble if it's not enforced? Like, is Apple going to be held like liable because they are continuing to let you download Red Note? what are the repercussions? Like, who, I don't think anybody has figured all that stuff out yet. And if they have, they haven't spoken about it, about how it's going to be enforced and how everything's going to go down.
To be determined, TBD.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Well, it doesn't seem like Kevin O'Leary or anyone has posted on YouTube or X with like updated information that I can see. So we will have to wait. And I will be on X tonight, keeping in touch. Thank you, Antonio, for joining.
You got it. Anytime.
Is there anything else? Any other thoughts before you go? Okay. All right, guys. Well, thank you for hanging out. It's a bummer that people have lost their communities. I know some of you guys are rejoicing. A lot of you think that somebody says ban OF. This person says YouTube is in power. If I was in Congress or governor, I would screen my email inbox. I think that lawmakers are not fully informed on this subject. It is wild to me that all the other platforms aren't jumping on this opportunity. Again, I think Instagram was prepared. It can't just be easy to do because otherwise these people would be doing it. And I'm telling you, I brought TikTokers that were huge on into the Instagram office, and Instagram had cameras on them while they scrolled on Reels before Reels was launched. And they were basically like, hey, how do you like it? How do you like the look and feel? And my clients were like, oh, I don't like this because like on TikTok, you do this and it's not letting you. And so then, like, I'm assuming there's like people behind the curtain writing all these notes down. And so they are openly copying these other platforms, but they have not copied everything about TikTok. So I don't think it's like as easy as people say. But anyway, one thing that I did discover that I'm kind of obsessed with and that I've been playing with. So this is not an ad, but Suno, oh my gosh, how fun. I've been making all these videos and I will leave you guys with my newest track, which is my little song. Oh, I didn't even post it yet. Wait. Yeah, I did actually. I posted it on X. I will leave you. John Barrell says, I see a lawsuit coming. I mean, yeah, interesting. I wonder if, like again, I'm just so curious, like what's going on with Apple, what's going on with all these different people. Okay. Well, if you guys don't have any other questions, I am going to call it a night. Probably try to get on here early tomorrow. The really big, annoying bummer for me is that we use like dozens of different AI platforms to do what we do. CapCut is one that I use. So, short form video content, one of the things that CapCut allows you to do is basically have these like templated things for captions and whatnot. And you can do that stuff. I mean, I know how to work Final Cut Pro and other video editing platforms, but there's something about CapCut that makes it very, very easy. And it's really frustrating that they didn't talk much about CapCut being shut down, but I don't know. There's something tells me that it's going to get turned back on because they're trying to like abide by the rules, it seems like, because why aren't these other apps shut down? Maybe they're just trying to play ball in order to make sure that they can come back. So, all right, guys, have a good night. I am going to leave you with my cool AI song. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye-bye now.
Watch your hands play. And though she be but little, she is fierce. Takes the drama, cuts it clear. This is the Little Miss Jacob Show. Bullies beware, she'll take you down in a thread, Play it cool, keep it calm, let the rhythm flow. Climbing high while they're stuck down below. No shortcuts, no cheat, she's here to win. Every comeback's fire, let the games begin. Watch the moves unfold. Every word's a strike, every line is gold. Take your shot. But she's 10 steps ahead. Every headline reads the thread she just said. It's the rhythm of the bold, the beat of the free, the sound of ambition, the way it should be. So turn the highs and lows into pure gold. This is the show. This is the vibe. The Little Miss Jacob groove is alive. And though she be but little, she is fierce, cuts through the noise with words that pierce. It's not just wit, it's how you move. Every challenge fuels the groove. The sound of ambition, the way it should be. Step by step, let the groove take control. Turn the highs and lows into pure gold. This is the show. This is the vibe. The Little Miss Jacob groove is alive.